Good morning from Coach Mo. If you are watching me live, let me know, let me know, let me know. And today we are talking about being the queen of procrastination. I can't say it, but procrastination. Is this a nation or a world of procrastination? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Heavy is the head that wears the crown of procrastination. Heavy is the heart. Heavy is the soul. I am Coach Mo. I don't usually wear a crown. I am the creator, founder, and kick-assiest of the kick-ass coaches in the kick-ass career workshop that I created to replicate the success I had in my career when I brought my soul to work to land my dream job. And I did it twice at the end of my career. I landed my dream job twice, um, each time up leveling a significant salary and title. And that's what I was looking for. I had a very progressive executive career. Let me just frame this up for a second. If you're here with me and you're one of my clients, let me know. Hey, Chessie, how are you? Hey, sure. Nice to see you. So here's the thing. All my career, I felt like I should have been given the crown. I felt like I worked hard. I outperformed a lot of people. And yet, so many times I was passed over, or 6 times I lost my job because I was really good. And sometimes that can be a career killer. Here's the thing. This week, I have talked about being the queen of perfectionism, the queen of overwork, the queen of people pleasing, the queen of being technically really, really good. That was a fun topic yesterday. If you have missed any of those series, just look down below and you will see the series. And if you're listening to this on a podcast or a rebroadcast, please go check out my Facebook page, Coach Mo Fall, my podcast on iTunes. And you can gather all sorts of career advice. I'm a little bit different than your usual career coach because what I learned in my career, good tea this morning, you've got to bring your soul back alive in order to have the career that you want. That queen inside of you wants to come back alive. She must come back into the rain. Today, we're talking about the queen of procrastination. And I'm going to tell you a story about how I navigated procrastination most of my career and what kind of a pitfall it can be for you. And really, why it happens is the same exact thing I've been talking about all week. Queen of perfection, lean in. Matter of fact, I'm going to lean in. I'm going to lean in a little bit more. Um, I had the privilege of coaching late last night to my advanced group. And what we did on that coaching call, what I brought to the coaching call as an exercise for my clients last night is the reason why we procrastinate. And I brought it to them because human nature is pretty predictable. Human psychology and how we humans are wired and how we operate is a pretty predictable phenomenon. So procrastination falls right into that category. So what I'm going to cover today is a story about my career, a story about how I navigated procrastination. I'm going to talk to you about why you procrastinate. And I'm going to talk about why, how, and what we can do about that tricky thing. I'm a registered nurse in the state of Florida and in the state of Pennsylvania. And in order to maintain my licenses, I have to do continuing education uh, credits, and I have to submit them, and I have to pay the state a licensing fee, and I have to follow through on that stuff. I no longer really practice as a registered nurse, but I got to tell you, going to college for nursing, getting my bachelor's in nursing, and working my butt off to become a registered nurse is not something I take lightly. And it's something that I feel very proud and happy to be in that uh, sisterhood, brotherhood of fellow nurses. And it is one of the reasons why I had such a successful career, is because I always had a curious, science oriented mind. My mother was a nurse as well. And as a little girl, I used to read some of the books that she had from her college. My mother was a BSN graduate in the 1950s. And in the 1950s, being a college nursing graduate was equivalent to almost having a PhD, if not a master's level degree. Most nurses at the time were trained in like schools attached to hospitals. And my mother went to a real college to get her nursing degree. They were affiliated with a lot of different hospitals in the city of Cleveland at the time. And when my mother graduated from nursing, she immediately became a nursing professor. And so my mother kept a lot of her nursing books. And I loved leafing through the books as a young girl and learning about diseases and understanding the body more and being intrigued. And of course, there was pictures in these books of horrible diseases and things like that, deformities, and it was really intriguing to me how human bodies can go astray and still people can live. So, people live with all sorts of diseases and deformities and things like that, especially now where we know how to treat these things so much better than we did in the 1940s and 50s, which were when her books were written. When I went to college in the 1980s, there was even more books, really thick manuals for nursing and all sorts of stuff. And I love learning. Mo, what does this have to do about procrastination? I'll tell you, I do get to the point. Okay. The point is this: I don't need my RN license in the state of Florida and the state of Pennsylvania in order to do my work. I don't need them. I don't. As a coach, I'm a certified coach, went through that training and keep up with that. Um, as a registered nurse, I just want to keep up my licensing. I want to do my continuing education. I want to continue to have that professional distinction. It's important to me. And I don't know, am I going to give it up when I'm a nurse for 50 years or 75? I'm not sure. But over this weekend, I did one of my continuing education booklets. I like doing it on a booklet to read old school. And my license is due at the end of April. If you're watching me live, it is coming on to the end of March. And so I could consider that I procrastinated because I'm able to submit my continuing education units either 60 or 90 days before my license is due. But I sort of put it off because nothing was pressing on me except the deadline. But it's not pressing on me for my livelihood. There's limited pressure. And as a human being, if we don't have pressure on us, we're going to prioritize what seems to be the urgent or important. There's been books written about this. If you're intrigued by this, please feel free to find one of those books off the top of my head. Stephen Covey's Seven Principles of Success, where he had the reader put things in quadrants. And it's a long-standing exercise that I believe Ben Franklin created. Ben Franklin created it because there was procrastination in Ben Franklin's time. There's been procrastination all the while that human beings have been on this earth, because human beings are drawn to what's in front of them right now. You are drawn to what's in front of you right now. So procrastination is a very deep-seated psychological mechanism for us to manage our lives. Now, procrastination is a problem when there are things that we know we must do and we're not doing it, and then we begin to stress out about it. When I decided to sit down last weekend and begin my continuing education credits, I was not stressing out about the booklets that were waiting for me to do my continuing education that are on the table where I do my reading. Those booklets, one Pennsylvania, one Florida, are calling my name, but I'm not stressed out about it. I know I will get to it because I trust myself. Shall I repeat that? Did you put that together? When we are not addressing something that we know we ought to be addressing and we stress out about it, we're going to procrastinate further because we're pulling our power away from the thing we must do. When I was looking at my continuing education books and not doing it yet because the deadline, I still had time, I was not judging myself or stressing out about it and pulling my soul energy away from that. When we truly procrastinate, what we're doing is creating a story in that gap, and it's causing us to pull away from our power. That's sort of an advanced coaching concept. Hopefully you got it. Hello to everyone who's here. Hey, let me know with your name and let me know in the comments, where are you procrastinating? How can you begin to close the gap between the thing that you must do or want to do and how you feel about yourself? Because that's procrastination at its root. You start to judge yourself and you start to pull yourself away from your power. This is the root of all of the problems we've talked about in this series, the queen of perfectionism, the queen of people pleasing, overworking, being technically great at your work. You begin to pull your power, your soul's truth away from yourself. I call it a soul separator. And procrastination is one of those opportunities for us as humans to separate from our soul. And once you've done this all your life, you're going to have a phenomenon that will definitely crush your soul, deplete your internal, vital, thriving energy, and you will begin to have problems. Why do we have problems in life? Because we're separated from our soul, and our soul wants to achieve more. So when we are separated from our soul's truth and power, we want to achieve more. And there's like this, still this desire that's like tapping on our shoulders, but we don't have the power to do it. And that's what procrastination eventually becomes. It becomes this chronic lagging problem, showing us that we don't have our soul's true power energized, because we judge ourselves and we create negativity in that gap between the thing that we know we need to do, want to do, and who we truly are. That gap gets filled with negative energy, and now we are totally separated from our power, and we just keep procrastinating. And you know what? The longer we procrastinate, the worse it gets. If you have a problem procrastinating, if you have a separation of your soul and it has crept into the truth of your power, it has crept into the truth of your career, you need to give us a call. Here's how we get started working with you potentially, is by having a clarity call. It's not your fault that you procrastinate or are a perfectionist or are overworking or are people pleasing or are just really trying to be better at your technical aspects of your job and your career isn't advancing. It's not really your fault. Here's the thing: you just don't know how to cure it. You don't know how to take care of this. And that is something that I do and we do in our coaching workshop. And you know what? Here's the thing: I like calling this a workshop that we do sometimes because you are the thing on the workshop bench. We are working with you on you. We are helping you solve your personal soul separation problems. And when we bring your soul into its truth and into its power, your problems become solvable. Your problems no longer have the energy of taking you out. They now are energized by your soul and you can solve them. We have women all the time working with us who finally speak up at work and show what they're capable of, and they get promoted. They get put on great projects that are the dream projects. They get seen in a different light. And our gals who are not working, who maybe have job trauma and soul separation around a lot of things that happened in the job that they had for a while, if they're no longer working, there's this big separation of their power with who they want to be. And pulling that back together allows them to not only interview well, but to be able to put together a powerful resume and presence on LinkedIn and feel congruent with it. The reason why you procrastinate is because you're not congruent with the thing that you want to do. And more importantly, you're not feeling congruent with who you are. And therefore, your power is depleted. And in that gap is negative energy, otherwise known as bullshit. But that negative energy that has separated you from your power has got to be taken care of. You can't cover it up and think that you're going to live above the gap of negative energy that's been created. And if you do, you're living in your head. Look, head, rest of body. Your head does not have the power and the processing of your energy that your soul does. Your soul resides in energy centers up and through your body. Your divinity is attached to your physicalness. It is through and throughout. As a matter of fact, your soul extends into the quantum field. It extends into the divine field. Science has finally figured this out. I believe it's about 70 years ago. Scientists absolutely confirmed Einstein's theories of the fact that we are in a continuation universe and everything is connected. We could call it God energy, the quantum field. And we are outpicturings in that quantum unseen energetic field in the physical plane. I could get into this. If you come to my retreat, ladies, if you're coming to my retreat, and you can only come to my retreat if you're clients, because you have to have a certain amount of foundational understanding of all of this. You have to know your soul and know your truth at a certain level in order for us to do the deeper work I do in my retreat. So, ladies, I know a lot of you are my clients. If you're not coming to my retreat, you're missing out on some really deep, really cool soul work that we do there. If you truly want to be the queen of your soul, catch the Aretha Franklin series on Hulu. The Queen of Soul. Show me a little respect. RESPECT. Boop, boop. Listen, your procrastination is driving a wedge between you and your soul. Your overwork is driving a wedge between you and your soul. Your perfectionism is driving a wedge between you and your soul. Your people pleasing is driving a wedge between you and your soul. Your technically competent work and all of the things you think you need to prove to others by being good at the work you do is driving a wedge between you and your soul. Your soul is more powerful than your brain. Your soul is more powerful than anything you will ever know. Your soul is the most powerful aspect of you. And when you bring it back to life, you're going to solve your people pleasing, your perfectionism, your procrastination, your overworking, and your over reliance on the technical doing in your work. Please get your soul back to life. Please do that for yourself. Stop being the queen of procrastination. Stop creating a wedge between you and your soul by putting things off and then judging yourself and then being harsh and negative on yourself. Procrastination drives a wedge between you and your power. And yes, Kathy Lesser, it also drives a wedge between you and the money. All of these syndromes that are very common amongst the clients we talk to and the women we talk to on our complimentary clarity calls. Book it today, ladies. We always are talking to a full schedule of women because you have problems in this world with your soul being powerful, mostly partly because you are a woman in this world. So it's been beaten back and you've been told not to be powerful. Bottom line is women are socialized at a very young age not to be powerful and to rely on others for their power. No bueno. All of these syndromes we've been talking about this week are a result of that phenomenon. As women, we are responsible for fixing it as adults. You cannot fix what has already happened. What you can fix is who you are. That's what you can fix. You can fix your power gap, which is created by the external world robbing your power and you buying into it. Stop buying into that and fix it. If you're one of my clients, go back into the modules this weekend. If you're in the current 12-week journey with us, stay on course, do the work. You're going to be rewarded by how you feel about yourself. If you're not a client, book a clarity call right here, mofall.com/live clarity, and let's fix your perfectionism. Let's fix your procrastination. Let's fix your overworking. Let's fix your people pleasing. Let's fix your over reliance on the technical aspects of what you do. You don't need another master's degree yet. You need more power in your soul. That is the fix. I've talked to over 10,000 women over the years I've been doing this. That is the problem. And if you don't know that for sure, that's why we do a clarity call. Let's find out what's truly going on and get to the truth. mofall.com/live clarity. This has been the Queen of Series. I have enjoyed this immensely. I have enjoyed laying it down and being a truth teller for you this week. I have enjoyed having my tea with you this morning. I love each and every one of you. I love every human who is tuned in to the fact that their soul is looking for more. Have a fantastic, fantastic day today and dive into that gap and solve the gap that is causing you to procrastinate and be perfectionist and be a people pleaser and overwork and rely on the technical aspects of your job. That gap can be solved and your soul can be brought back to life for your dream job and life. This is Coach Mo Fall. I'm here for you. Clients, please lean in. We've got a grad call this Saturday, grads, and we are rocking and rolling in our 12-week journey. Love you so much. Jay Lee, you are welcome so much. Thank you for leaning in and showing us your soul. All you ladies are awesome. It has been a pleasure seeing you this week. Please keep leaning into your soul and let's close that gap. Lots of love. This is Coach Mo, mofall.com and mofall.com/live clarity to get you rocking and rolling with your career. And Chessie, let's